What is up, YouTube? Heroclix tutorials here with a new topic, which is theme teams versus non-theme teams. So first question, which team do you think I've won more tournaments with? The Asgardian theme team with the defense shenanigan, or this non-theme team that has more of a variety and has everything? Well, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It was the non-theme team. But that's not saying that theme teams aren't bad. I'm just saying that if you're wanting to be more competitive, non-theme teams is the way to go. So that just leads to my next topic. Well, my next statement to say. Theme teams, don't get me wrong, theme teams are really fun to play. But then some of them are actually a lot better to play as a theme team. But they're a lot more set to one goal. For example, as Guardians here are a charge team. They're meant to get right in your face. None of them have range, and they just want to get in your face and smash the crap out of you. Which leads to map problems. Like, for example, if you lose your map roll and your opponent chooses a map that is just a plain map with no blocking terrain, you can't get up to them without taking damage. You're going to get up to them and just have to worry about it. So, you could switch this out for like the Thor from the that one Thor with the makes so you can't get targeted within 7. But that's still, it sucks if you get the wrong map. But with this team, I have a little bit of everything. For example, I have telekinesis, and I have people that have lots of range with 3 targets. I have chargers that can get in behind if they need to. So if I do have a map with blocking terrain, I can get some chargers in there to take the damage while the people in the back sit there and do what the people in the back do. And I have 3 probability controls, and I have everything. It's not like I have one thing that they do where, you know what I mean, where like they're mainly about charging, or let me think of another one. Red Lanterns are mainly about, stealing clicks from your opponents, or Batman family is all about hindering terrain, stuff like that. This team, you have a wider variety of things to choose from. Which leads to my next idea that I came up with, which is non-theme teams are probably a little bit more competitive, and you'll probably, if you're wanting to go out there and win, no, I'm kind of bashing on theme teams here. Competitive teams are a lot more, non-theme teams are a lot more competitive because you have wider options and you don't have to worry about getting shut down because of map. That's not saying that theme teams here aren't competitive. I'm just saying that non-theme teams are a little bit more competitive. However, some theme teams, like the Inhumans that I mentioned in my last video, they all have like insane perplex, and with Karnak getting in there with penetrating and plasticity charge with Medusa. I got second. But I would not take that to a Worlds. That's just something I would play in my locals. However, I would take this to a regionals or a nationals, mainly because I've won multiple tournaments with this team. So let's do a little recap here, just to see what we've gotten so far. We have competitive. Which one's more competitive? We've gotten what they're both. Well, we haven't really touched up too much on what they're both good for. We've talked about map dependent, not map dependent, and also we've talked about one having shenanigans over one thing and one having a little bit of everything. So let's go into pros and cons of both sides. Theme teams, smaller variety to choose from, clicks wise. You have one goal, and you're amazing at that goal. Or shenanigan, for example. That's another word for it. Cons, you're very map dependent. you can be countered a lot easier, because if someone knows you're running as Guardians, they'll be like, okay, well, I just gotta outwit their charge, and I gotta outwit Heimdall from the Fear itself with his back one here. I gotta outwit his defense ability so they don't get that +1 to defense. Another thing, well, another con is the fact that it's a lot harder to build teams. Like, you have no idea. I was choosing between this and a Thor, and I wanted to put, like, it's a lot harder to fit in the points. But with this team, it was like, whoa, I can just put in anything I want. You know, well, let's just look here. 80 point this versus a 60 point that. Which one's better? I mean, it's a lot more open. And I definitely like, I'm just going to be 100% honest, I like non-theme team more because I feel more free and I feel like I don't have to care about sticking to one thing. I can be myself and be free. If that makes sense. I'm not trying to give you this whole spiel about which one's better. I'm just saying I prefer this one. So let's look at pros and cons of non-theme teams. Pros. You have a large variety. You can choose between every single one of the cliques that you own. You can build it however you want. It's not you have one thing that you do and you're amazing at that. You can be good at everything. Like this team, I have three close combat people, and they're all very good. Well, for their costs. I got 3 people that are range support, kind of. I got a perplexer with range. I got lots of range. I have someone that can increase my roll. So I have it's a support team, it's a range team, it's a melee team. It's everything. You don't really get to have that in most of your teams. So now let's look at cons. First con, you don't get that theme team bonus. You can't get team ability bonuses unless you're playing a team ability bonus, but not a theme team, which it still limits you, but I mean, you know what I mean. Oh, by the way, another pro with non-theme teams is the fact that they don't get countered as easily. It's a lot harder to counter a team that has everything. Well, not everything. A team that is a little bit good at everything. So that is my opinion over theme teams versus non-theme teams. I hope you enjoyed. I'm not trying to bash on theme teams. I'm just saying I feel like non-theme teams are a little bit more competitive because of the fact that they don't get countered as easily and they're not as map dependent. But theme teams are also really good with their shenanigans, and if they have their own thing that they're good at, that's cool with me. Like, I love playing Batman Family, and I love playing as Guardians here. I have a lot of fun with them. But I mean, if you're going for winning and not really fun, then I mean, non-theme teams is the way to go. So go click it up out there, man, fellas. And remember, it's not a loss with probability control.